It's been that type of day here in Florida. Just another day at the beach, and we certainly want to wish everybody a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. As tonight, Pix 11 presents New York Yankees baseball. It's going to be the Yankees against the Tampa Bay Rays from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hi, everybody. Ken Singleton along with John Flaherty. The Yankees are back on the road after 3 days at home against the Toronto Blue Jays, and they've been playing some pretty good baseball of late on the road. They've won 5 in a row, and the last time we saw Masahiro Tanaka flash, it was in Oakland.
It was in Oakland last week, and really had another quality performance. The one thing you remember, Joe Girardi calling out Tanaka in spring training, saying we need to say a little bit more. You can say this year Tanaka has pitched like an ace. He did not disappoint in that game out in Oakland. 7 quality innings, only giving up 1 run. He is pitching like the ace of the staff. He'll have another day's rest in the start tonight here against the Rays. You expect him to continue his winning ways.
Well, Masahiro Tanaka will be matched up tonight against the Rays' best pitcher, but he hasn't been pitching that well this year. You can see Tanaka's numbers, 2-0 with a 3.24 ERA, and Chris Archer 3-5 with a 5.16. And Flash, Archer's coming off maybe the worst start of his career.
Yeah, and you look at the numbers, they just don't look right, Kenny. The ERA over 5, and you mentioned his last start against Detroit. He only went 3 innings in that game, gave up 6 runs and 8 hits. You see a lot of the highlights here for the Tigers. Pitches elevated in the zone. He's getting behind in counts. He's elevating pitches, and he's getting beat. Oh, by the way, Miguel Cabrera, he can beat anybody in this league, and when you're not on top of your game, he will take advantage of it.
Well, during Archer's career, he's been pretty good against New York Yankees. 5-2 with a 2.25 ERA, but those 2 losses were in his last 2 starts against the Yankees last year. So Archer, maybe the Yankees are turning it around against him. We come back just about ready for baseball here at Tropicana Field. Beautiful day for baseball here in Florida. Yankees and the Rays, first game of a 3-game series at the Trop. Better than ever. Visit the Hyundai Memorial Day sales event today for incredible deals. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. By Land Rover, above and beyond. By PC Richard & Son, the appliance, electronics, and mattress giant. By NYU Langone Medical Center, made for New York. And by ChevyOffers.com. Chris Archer is warming up. We're just about ready for baseball here at Tropicana Field.
You can play him, you don't have to rest him as much. But this team was built, when we started this year, was for Alex to DH and Carlos to play right field. And Alex has been down, 21 days. He was swinging the bat really well before he got hurt. And I think it's way too quick to abandon, what we were seeing.
Well, that was Yankee manager Joe Girardi prior to the game today, talking to the New York media. And the fact is that it was a question, I think, primarily because Carlos Beltran was back in right field yesterday, and became a question because Carlos struck out 4 times the first time he went back in right field. And it's become somewhat of an issue who's going to play where and when. Aaron Hicks is now on the bench because A-Rod's back in the lineup flash.
Well, I think the little bit of that quote where Joe Girardi talked about Alex Rodriguez and how well he had been swinging the bat before he got hurt is so important to the Yankees. And I look at it this way. Carlos Beltran got 3 weeks where he was able to DH, stay off his legs a little bit. That's only going to help him down the road. I don't think he went 0 for 4 yesterday because he was playing right field with 4 strikeouts.
No, I think it was because there's a pretty good pitcher on the mound holding not only Carlos Beltran down, but the rest of the New York Yankees as the Yankees lost the final game of the series against Toronto. Well, that was yesterday. Tonight, they're facing the Tampa Bay Rays here at Tropicana Field, opening game of a 3-game series. And here's the Yankees starting lineup. It's brought to you by Land Rover, above and beyond. At the very top, Jacoby Ellsbury. He'll be leading off. Brett Gardner will be in left field. Carlos Beltran in right field tonight. He'll bat third. The cleanup hitter, Brian McCann. He's doing the catching, followed by the DH, Alex Rodriguez. Starling Castro will be at second base. D.D. Gregorius at shortstop. Last 14 games, hitting .377. Chase Headley will be at third base, and batting ninth at first base, Dustin Ackley.
Well, Joe Girardi sends that lineup out against Chris Archer, finishing up his warm-up tosses, and the numbers are not pretty. 3-5, 5.16 ERA. He's gone off to a slow start this year. We'll look at our pitcher scatter report, which is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He has the same stuff that he's had in the past, 11.18 strikeouts per 9 inning. That leads the American League. That tells you he is healthy and his stuff is good. But he's walking 4.47 per 9. That is 6th in the American League. That is not good. And he loves pitching here at Tampa Bay, home sweet home, home sweet dome. A 2.35 ERA in Tropicana Field this year.
Yeah, he has struggled, but primarily on the road. His ERA on the road is over 7. Let's take a look at the Rays defense, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. In the outfield, it's going to be Dickerson, Jennings, and Geyer from left to right. In the infield, Longoria, Miller, Motter, Morrison, and Hank Conger doing the catching for Chris Archer tonight. There is the youngest manager in the major leagues, Kevin Cash. Believe it or not, there are 16 players in the major leagues older than Kevin Cash. Cash is 38 years old. And the Yankees have 2 of them back, Beltran and A-Rod in their lineup tonight. Well, fans, Who's Hot is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And this is Chris Archer against Jacoby Ellsbury. Look at those numbers flash.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
16 for 24.
Well, the home run and 3 runs batted in. I'm sure Chris Archer is tired of seeing Jacoby Ellsbury. And Ellsbury's last 27 games been swinging the bat well. He's hitting .309 in that stretch. First pitch of the game. High and away for ball 1 with a fastball. You'll see Archer's fastball somewhere about the mid-90s. His slider might be his best pitch, but he's had problems with it during the course of this year.
Kenny, I went online today to look at velocity last year to this year.
Ball is hit hard. Another base hit for Ellsbury against Archer. 17 for 25.
Well, the hits just keep on coming. And, velocity for Archer is the same as it was last year, throwing a slider pretty much at the same rate, having a lot of trouble early in ball games, and already a leadoff single.
Well, Yankee fans know that Michael Pineda's had his problems early in games this year. Well, Archer, the same thing. Archer's allowed 30 runs this season. 12 of them have come in the first inning. Here's Brett Gardner. Gardner 0 for his last 7 and 9 for his last 37 over a longer spell. Pitch is outside for ball 1. Now, one thing to remember with Ellsbury and Gardner in particular, Hank Conger behind the plate is not known for throwing out base runners. The Rays catcher has only caught one of the last 51 runners attempting to steal. So it's not so much they're stealing off the pitcher. They're kind of stealing off the catcher if they go.
Yeah, anytime you hear numbers like that, you think about a pitching staff. But Conger just not a very good thrower of the baseball, more known as an offensive player and not really swinging the bat all that well early on this year. So we'll see if the Yankees take advantage in the running game.
The only runner he caught stealing, you have to go back to last year, and that was J.B. Shuck of the Chicago White Sox. Pitch is high, ball 2 balls and no strikes. Gardner had a big hit against these Rays at Yankee Stadium back on April the 23rd. Hit a walk-off home run off Erasmo Ramirez in the game the Yankees won 3-2. Ellsbury's kind of measured, trying to get that walking lead. That pitch is high, ball 3, and Ellsbury is going to be staying put on this 3-0 pitch. See if Archer can throw a strike.
Kenny, to the open to our show with Carlos Beltran on deck, we talked about Archer and some of his lowlights from his last start. Pitches elevated in the zone. Same thing early on in this one, behind in the count 3-0. Last year he did such a great job of getting ahead in counts. This year is struggling.
Here's a 3-0 pitch, and that is poured in there for a call strike, 3-1. Archer, this is his first start against the Yankees this year. He made 4 starts against the Yankees last year. And the Yankees won 3 of the 4 games, 2 no decisions and 2 losses for Archer last year against the Yankees. Ellsbury's not going. The 3-1 pitch is ball 4. It's inside. So the first 2 Yankees reach here in the first inning. A base hit and a base on balls.
You know, Kenny, watching Archer out there, I'm reminded of Sonny Gray out in Oakland when we watch his start. And we were talking, as Kevin Cash looking on, about a young pitcher who's struggling for the first time and having to fight through it. The same thing for Archer. And what the Rays have noticed, he's pitching away from the strike zone more than he ever did when he was having his best success.
Here's Carlos Beltran. Check on Ellsbury at second. The Yankees with speed on the bases, of course, with Ellsbury at second and Gardner at first. Beltran just 2 hits away from 2,500 hits in his career. Nice round number. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch, and it's strike 1. That's our Bob's Power Report. Extra base hits in this month. Ortiz, Cano, Beltran, and Marcell Osuna. Tonight's Power Report is furnished by Bob's. Everything's better with a Bobopedic. Find out why at mybobs.com. That pitch misses. A ball and a strike on Beltran. Yankees threatening early here. Throw to first, and Gardner's back as Logan Morrison, the first baseman, tries to sneak behind him. So we take a look at the Yankees at the play. Look at Beltran, and you saw the Yankees at kind of a flat finish, not the shiny helmets that we're used to seeing. Next pitch, that's high. 3 balls and a strike as Archer is struggling with the strike zone in the early going.
It doesn't get any better than this for Carlos Beltran. You've seen some pitches. You're heading to count 3-1. Couple of runners on. You would expect a good pitch to lean on right here.
Pitch is popped up to the left side. Drifting back is Miller. Coming on is the left fielder, but it's going to be the shortstop Miller who makes the catch for out number 1. Looked like he got in on him a bit.
That is a huge pitch for Archer right there because he came right at Carlos Beltran and he beat him a little bit, maybe elevated just enough. Well, that's one of those pitches. Here's my best fastball. See what you can do with it, and Chris Archer got away with it.
So 1 down and 2 on for the Yankees. They'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Brian McCann. There are the season numbers for McCann. 6 homers, 18 runs batted in. An RBI chance right here in the first inning. Strike one call as Archer hits the outside corner.
When you talk to people around the Rays, they say Archer gets himself in trouble in the first inning, elevated pitch counts, and then sometimes, didn't happen his last outing against Detroit, things get a little bit better. He's looking to make a big pitch here, maybe a possibility of a double play, getting out of some trouble.
A ball and a strike on Brian McCann. Divisional matchup here tonight. Rays just a half a game behind the Yankees in the standings. That pitch misses. 2 balls and a strike on McCann. The Yankees start the game 6.5 behind the Red Sox in the East, and the Rays are 7 behind. Two-one pitch is popped up. Drifting back is Longoria, the third baseman, and he will make the catch in fair territory. So Archer makes another good pitch.
Well, we're going to look at the Yankees' keys to the game, which are brought to you by your Hyundai dealer. And you just want Tanaka to be what Tanaka has been lately for the New York Yankees. And that is a guy who has been on a good roll and been the leader of your staff. And then you want to let Archer fall behind, which he's done in the first inning. They haven't taken advantage of it yet. And then obviously setting the table. We talked about Ellsbury's numbers already off of Archer and got off to a good start.
So the Yankees, 3 and 4 hitters do not come through with runners on. Here's Alex Rodriguez batting in the 5th spot and getting his customary boovation, if you will, here at Tropicana Field. Archer deals, and it's in there for a call strike.
Let's see if Archer gains a little confidence right there. He beat McCann, he beat Beltran. He came right at Alex with the first pitch fastball right down the middle.
A-Rod kind of wore out the Rays last year. Had 8 home runs against the Tampa Bay Ray pitching. 8 of his 33. Look at Ellsbury. I don't think he's going anywhere. 2 outs, 2 on. Yankees trying to get it started here in the first inning against Chris Archer. Oh, 1 pitch fouled off to the right. No balls and 2 strikes as Conger's going to go out and talk with Archer. Archer, who set a club record with 252 strikeouts last year. Well, still one of the better strikeout pitchers in the league. But as Flash told you, his control has not been as good this year, which means he can be wild in the strike zone too. Yeah,
the slider really is that big strikeout pitch for Archer. We'll see if he goes with it here. 0-2 count.
A ball and 2 strikes on Alex Rodriguez. One-two pitch on the way, and it's swung on and foul tipped into Conger's glove, and Archer giving up a leadoff single and then a base on balls, gets 2 pop-ups and a strikeout to get out of it. A half an inning's been played. No score here at Tropicana Field. The field is Masahiro Tanaka taking his final warm-up tosses. We'll look at the Rays starting lineup, which is brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. At the very top is Brandon Guyer. He will lead it off, followed by Brad Miller, the shortstop. Evan Longoria will be at third base. The cleanup hitter is the designated hitter, Steve Pearce. Logan Morrison will be at first base. Desmond Jennings tonight in center. Corey Dickerson will be in left field. Taylor Motter, a rookie, will be at second base. And Hank Conger will bat ninth and catch.
That lineup for the Rays going to get a good look at Masahiro Tanaka. Finished up his warm-up tosses. We'll look at his numbers, 2-0 with a 3.24 ERA. We'll look at our pitcher scouting report, which is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He is unbeaten this year in his first 9 starts. That is the longest stretch since Aaron Small went 8-0 in 05 in his first 9 starts. And he has the lowest on-base percentage against over the last 3 years, 264. Second on that list, Chris Sale at 266, so it tells you he's getting it done. When you're in Tampa, St. Pete, you got to get a little surf and turf. Tanaka loves pitching here in the Dome, loves pitching on turf, 3-0 with a 1.61 ERA.
First pitch to Brandon Guyer is poured in there for a call strike. Surf and turf. I like that. Tanaka 2-0 in his career against the Tampa Bay Rays. The next pitch to Guyer is inside for a ball, 1-1. Guyer had a home run here yesterday off of Jose Fernandez. And Fernandez didn't give up much. The pitcher for the Marlins struck out 12 in 7 innings. As the Marlins beat the Rays here. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. I watched that game, Flash. Fernandez was just dominating.
On top of it?
Yeah, he was all over them. Last 10 games for Guyer, 295. One of those home runs came yesterday off Jose Fernandez. About the only thing he gave up. The 1-2 pitch, and it's hit the air down the right field line. A long run for Carlos Beltran. This is going to fall in front of the Rays bullpen, and the count will remain a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, Kenny, you mentioned the home run, and that's what Tampa Bay's been doing this year. A little bit unusual for them. 67 already, first in the league. But when you look overall, batting average, runs, they're 11th in the league.
Yeah.
So the long ball has not translated into a lot of runs.
You're right. They lead the American League in home runs, 67, and 1 more than the Baltimore Orioles. And they haven't been playing all that well at home, just 10-13 at Tropicana Field. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Guyer is the first strikeout victim from Masahiro Tanaka. Let's check out the rest of the Yankees on defense. It's brought to you by M&T Bank, understanding what's important. In the outfield, you have Gardner, Ellsbury, and Beltran. In the infield, Headley, Gregorius, Castro, and Ackley. McCann doing the catching for Masahiro Tanaka.
We'll see if the strikeout's going to be a common theme tonight for Tanaka. Tampa Bay has struck out 425 times now in 45 games, setting a record pace in that department.
Here's Brad Miller, and he'll take one outside for a ball. Miller got off to a very, very slow start. Wasn't hitting much in the month of April, but 302 over his last 34 starts. That's since April the 24th, so he's starting to come on a bit. That's in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. 34 starts, all of them at shortstop. Miller came over from the Seattle Mariners in a deal. Off-speed pitch. Tanaka misses. 2 balls and a strike. Yankees have won 5 in a row on the road. The last game in Arizona and 4 in a row. A sweep of the Oakland A's on the West Coast. Pitch is fouled off. Count will level off at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Brian McCann back behind the plate with Tanaka here in Tampa Bay. The last time out, Austin Romine in Oakland caught Tanaka on an extra day between starts. And again, Tanaka gets that extra day.
That was because of the off day on Monday. And when he gets the extra day, he's usually pretty sharp. Off-speed pitch, fouled off by Miller. Evan Longoria is on deck. The Rays' third baseman. Just underway here at Tropicana Field. The Yankees failed to score in the first inning, although they threatened against Chris Archer. Full count now. Looked like a splitter in the dirt. We mentioned Tanaka's last start. And this is what the Flash is talking about the rest in between starts. Certainly makes a difference. You can see that particularly in the earned run average and the batting average against. The payoff pitch hit on the ground towards second for Castro. Gobbles it up, throws him out. 2 up and 2 down here in the first inning. So Miller's retired. He will give way to Evan Longoria, who over the years has kind of become the face of the Rays franchise. 253 on the year, 8 home runs, 20 runs batted in. His last 14 games, his average has been rising, just under 300 in those 14 games. He did have a 10-game hitting streak in that 14-game period. That's the longest hitting streak for a Ray this year. Ball is popped up behind home plate. McCann has a beat on it, puts it away, and the Rays go quietly here in the first inning against Masahiro Tanaka. No score at the end of 1. Baseball is brought to you by the Blue Cash, everyday card from American Express. Well, some fans still making their way into Tropicana Field. Seems like whenever the Yankees come to town, they get a pretty good crowd here.
Well, the Tampa Bay Lightning eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. There's several people on our crew who also work Lightning games, the local people here, and they were kind of down today. Hockey season's over. Lost to the Pittsburgh Penguins in Game 7. Here's Starlin Castro. He'll lead it off for the Yankees here in the second inning. He takes a pitch from Archer in there for a called strike. Castro is averaged down to 264. He's just 6 for his last 34. Straightens him up a bit. It's a ball and a strike.
When you go through the numbers for Chris Archer, he throws his slider about 36% of the time, which is an awful lot. But early on in this game, he blew Alex Rodriguez away with a fastball coming up right at Castro.
Change-up in there for a call strike, 1 and 2.
And the change-up a pitch he's been throwing a little bit more.
One thing about these Rays, coming into the season, everybody thought their pitching was going to be what carries the team. Well, that hasn't been the case. The last 16 games, their starters have gone 7 innings, only once swing and a miss. And that's strikeout number 2 for Chris Archer as Castro goes down swinging. And it's been primarily their offense, which has kind of kept them near the 500 mark.
I think this was back-to-back changeups, although a hard one right there at 90 miles an hour. You get a great look at the grip. 3 fingers takes a little velocity off and good arm speed. And you get Castro way out in front.
So 1 down, and here's Didi Gregorius, who I guess you can say has been the hottest of all the Yankees. A 9-game hitting streak for Didi. And he'll take a pitch upstairs for ball 1. That's the longest hitting streak for a Yankee this year. He's hitting .321 this month, has jumped his average up overall to .276. Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and a strike. There are those who thought, including myself, that Archer might be one of those candidates for the Cy Young Award this year. But he's going to really have to turn his game around after getting off to a slow start this year. High and inside, 2 balls and a strike, and I think there are other pitchers that kind of left him in the dust. I'm thinking of pitchers like Chris Sale, who's finally lost the game. Sale of the White Sox now 9-1. Two and two. Strike called by home plate umpire Trip Gibson. Jerry Lane, the crew chiefs at first. Hunter Wendelstedt at second. And Gabe Morales is making the calls around at third base. The 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball towards second, and Motter has it. Throws on to first, and there's 2 down for the Yankees here in the second inning.
You know, Kenny, you talk about Archer getting back on track. You see Motter and his long hair out of that hat making the play at second base. But Archer, I mean, he's got to get his confidence back, really, is the main thing. Kind of pitching away from the strike zone, pitching away from contact. If he gets his confidence back, starts attacking the zone early, his stuff is still plenty good enough. He'll win some games.
Here's Chase Headley with 2 outs and nobody on. Ball 1. Headley's reached safely in 15 of his last 16 games, starting to pick up the pace. And he's hit .320 over those 16 games. A ball and a strike on a Yankee third baseman. Tonight's high-speed pitch comes from Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art healthcare. This pitch is hit down the left field line. Moving over is the left fielder Dickerson. He puts it away. And that pitch, by the way, was 94 miles an hour from Chris Archer. Still no score after inning and a half here at Tropicana Field. Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Steve Pearce is going to lead it off. He's the #4 hitter for these Rays. Bottom of the second inning. And Tanaka misses downstairs for ball 1. Pearce, 7 home runs since April the 24th. A ball and a strike. In fact, that's all 7 of his home runs have come since April 24th. Tanaka's going to deal the 1-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch, way out in front. Strike 2 on Pearce.
A good little slider from Tanaka. And, you know, the split finger is such an important pitch. But if he can get just a little movement down and away from those right-handed hitters, it just gives him another look. Now he's got so many options. A split, you can bounce on the plate. You can elevate a fastball in.
Hey, there's your split. Bounce it on the plate. The count is 2-2. Pearce wouldn't bite.
I always think of Tanaka as such a rhythm pitcher. You know, when he gets in a rhythm early in ball games, he seems just to get on a roll. And it looks like he's very comfortable mechanically, throwing the ball over the plate early. Brian McCann has a lot of weapons.
Call, strike 3. He got him looking. Fastball over the outside corner. 2 strikeouts now for Tanaka. 1 down for the Rays here in the second.
Steve Pearce saw everything. He saw the slider, he saw the split, and then he sees a fastball that comes right back to dot the outside corner. A good catch by Brian McCann, presenting it to his home plate umpire, Tripp Gibson.
The next hitter is Logan Morrison. Yeah, that's the type of pitch to have you talking to yourself. There's the hitting coach, Derek Shelton. Morrison, the first baseman. As Tanaka misses outside for ball 1. Morrison got a 5-game hitting streak going, and it's been a good streak. 9 for his last 16. Now here's a guy who didn't do anything in April. I don't think he drove in a run in the month of April. It really got off to a slow start. And that pitch misses. 2-0. How about this? I mentioned the last 5 games. How about this, the last 10 games? That sounds like a train out of Grand Central to 516. The 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. All 10 of Morrison's runs batted in this season have come in his last 11 games. So he didn't drive in a run in April. And he didn't drive in a run for a lot of May, but they stayed with him. And he's finally gotten hot. Three balls and a strike. Tanaka falls behind on the count. During spring training, the Rays decided to let James Loney go, despite the fact I think they owed him about $7 or $8 million. And that opened the way for Morrison to take over at first base. The Rays were looking for a little bit more power from that position. A 3-1 pitch. Fouled off. The count is now run full at 3-2.
James Loney hook up with anybody? I don't think so. Right?
I don't think so. I haven't really heard his name mentioned in any transactions. But he had, an $8 million parting gift.
Well, Brian McCann deep in thought behind the plate, trying to figure out what pitch he's going to try to get Morrison out with.
Well, Tanaka's ready. Payoff pitch is on the way. And it's hit hard, but it's gloved by Ackley at first base. Morrison robbed of a hit by the Yankee first baseman.
Well, you can see why Logan Morrison is putting up some better numbers lately. Pretty quick on the fastball inside. Hits it right on the nose, but a pretty easy play for Ackley.
Line drive out is out number 2 for the Rays here in the second. That'll bring up Desmond Jennings, the center fielder. Jennings off to a slow start, hitting just a .182. 3 home runs, 10 runs batted in. First pitch, that misses, ball 1.
Kenny, I just got word that Loney is in the Padres organization at AAA.
Okay. Let's see how well the Padres are doing. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, they're in last place, so he's got a chance to get up to the big leagues. They've lost 4 in a row.
I was also thinking there might be a little opportunity with the other New York team, the Mets, right? They lost their first baseman.
Yeah.
Sure, they'll be shopping around for a little bit.
Two-0 pitch to Jennings, and he pops it up into foul territory. Looks like this is going to be just off the Rays' dugout and back into the seats.
Well, Jennings getting an opportunity to play center field tonight, but his playing time has been limited lately. Hasn't been swinging the bat.
Well, his playing time is going to go up because of the fact that Kevin Kiermaier is now on the disabled list, one of the better center fielders in the league. He broke some bones in his hand attempting to make a catch, and he's out for 8 to 10 weeks. Had to have surgery. The Rays are going to miss him. Pitches popped up. Let's see who's going to call for it. Looks like Headley, the third baseman. Tanaka will have an easy 1-2-3 inning. That's 6 in a row set down by Masahiro Tanaka. No score here at Tropicana Field.
Is brought to you by Modell's, your fan gear headquarters. Going to play 3 here in Tampa Bay, head up to Toronto, and then 1 day in Detroit, and then move on to Baltimore, a long 10-day road trip for the New York Yankees. Trying to get off to a good start on that trip here in Tampa. Tampa St. Pete against the Rays. Chris Archer struggled a little bit in the first inning, was able to work his way out of some trouble in a 1-2-3 second. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Yankees. Ackley playing first base tonight. Mark Teixeira still trying to get that neck back in shape. And Ackley struggling a little bit lately, 3 for his last 20.
Was it neck spasms for Mark Teixeira? Kept him out of line. He had cortisone shots in the neck. That can't feel good in itself.
I don't think I've ever heard of cortisone shots in the neck. I've heard of these steroid epidural shots, which unfortunately I had one of those during my career as Ackley lifts one to left field. Easy play for Dickerson.
I've had cortisone shots in the elbow. Eventually I needed surgery though.
Well, with 1 down, will be the top of the order, Jacoby Ellsbury, who led off this game with a base hit. Now batting .282, and the good numbers against Chris Archer continue.
17 for 25. That's what Flash is talking about, the good numbers that Ellsbury has against Archer after the hit in the first inning. And I've always said this, there's some pitchers out there that just throw your speed. They know it and you know it. They don't have to make much of a mistake for you to hit it well.
Who was that guy for you?
I'd say the number one guy was Dennis Eckersley.
Really?
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, well, he knew it and I knew it. Good pitcher, but he just seemed to throw my speed. I could see the ball well.
Now, when he was a starting pitcher, I remember him as a reliever, a great closer.
Yeah.
He still threw that side three-quarter arm angle.
That's why when you're hitting left-handed,
it just came right into
you. You could see it, yeah.
Ellsbury heading the count 2-1. And that changeup has been a good pitch for Archer early in this ballgame. I mentioned he loves to throw his slider over 30% of the time, but he's throwing his changeup a little bit more lately. He drops it in there for strike 2.
Eckersley, I've faced him primarily as a starter, not a reliever.
It'll be a 3-2 pitch to Jacoby Ellsbury. We're scoreless here in Tampa. One hit for the Yankees. Ellsbury had that hit, and he blocks one off the other way, and he's going to be 2 for 2. And the ownership of Chris Archer continues.
Wow. Archer's got a smile on his face. Like, what can I do against this guy? 18 for 26. Those are Little League type numbers. Now, he didn't hit this one well, but it was well placed. Kind of got in on him a little bit, but drops it in. Left center field for a base hit. 2 for 2. Looked like a little cutter. But it was right in the middle.
With one down, it'll be Brett Gardner, who walked his first at bat.
I mean, eventually got to go. They know what Conger's been doing.
Ellsbury not running.
I think it's gotten to the point with Conger, nobody wants to get thrown out by him. They don't want to be the guy that ends his streak. 1 for 51. And it's not, as I said, it's not so much you're stealing against Archer, you're stealing against Conger.
Well, you got to give Chris Archer a little bit of credit. Looks like he had Jacoby Ellsbury a little bit fooled or confused about his times to the plate.
Now the pitchers really have to help Conger out. Do their best to vary their times, hold on to the ball.
Ellsbury's caught. Morrison runs him back. The flip to Miller. And Chris Archer does his job.
Well, that will go as a caught stealing, but Conger was not involved. As it goes 1-3-6, Ellsbury is caught stealing. And the reason why it's a caught stealing is because he was advancing towards the next base when he was tagged out.
It just looked like Ellsbury was confused that whole time. Kenny couldn't get a good feel, tries to get a jump, and gets picked off. So Archer back to the windup, ahead in the count 0-2 on Brett Gardner.
As I like to say, Ellsbury made his move too soon.
.45 pitches for Archer. I mentioned earlier he's gotten himself in a lot of trouble early in ball games with an elevated pitch count. Not much of a problem here with 45 pitches, 2 outs in the third. 2-2 to Gardner. Good slider down and in. The bread and butter pitch for Chris Archer. Picks up his 3rd strikeout of the night. We'll be back. The third inning from Tropicana Field. We are scoreless. 2 hits for the Yankees, none for the Rays so far, and we are welcomed in our booth to Meredith Marakovitz joining us in our booth. Meredith had a couple of days off, back to work this afternoon.
Good to be back, guys. Thanks for letting me join you up here.
There was a lot of conversation early before the game about Carlos Beltran in right field and Alex Rodriguez DHing.
And really it was a carryover from yesterday. You look at the fact that Alex Rodriguez was in the lineup for the first time since coming off the DL. Great grab by Chase Headley right there. Quick out. And obviously Alex Rodriguez back in the lineup. And anybody didn't really do anything against J-Happ yesterday, but Alex Rodriguez went 0 for 4. Carlos Beltran back in right field went 0 for 4. All the questions after the game were whether or not the Yankees were doing the right thing by putting Carlos Beltran back in the outfield. And Joe Girardi essentially said both yesterday and today, this is what we have. This is the roster that we've constructed. We want both of them in the lineup, and this is the way we're going to have to do it. Now, the biggest question is Carlos Beltran better in right field or as the DH? When you look at the numbers this year, even though it is a small sample size, Beltran hitting .322 as the DH. Alex Rodriguez below the Mendoza line so far this season as the DH. And Joe Girardi admitted he cannot play him every day if he's playing out there in right field. So it's going to be something to monitor as time goes on to see exactly how much they can use Beltran in the outfield, but they want to keep his bat in the lineup.
Well, this is kind of the way the team is laid out. I mean, Alex is going to be the designated hitter. Joe has acknowledged that. Beltran says he likes to play the outfield. But when you're 39 years old, as Beltran is, every once in a while the DH day makes kind of sense. And that means they didn't want to play Alex as much this year.
Swing and a miss right there to Motter.
And it's really going to be Joe Girardi's job to manage that. He's going to look ahead, see who's on the mound. That'll play into it. And also he said Carlos Beltran's not going to play 3 straight days on the turf, so expect for him to get a day off this series. But he could really use Alex Rodriguez and Carlos Beltran to hit to not have to answer those questions, Kenny.
We'll switch gears a little bit. Meredith Tanaka on the mound tonight, and he's looked awfully sharp. 8 up, 8 down. Extra day's rest for him.
And he seems to always pitch well when he has an extra day's rest. You saw it in Oakland. That was another appearance when he had an extra day, and his control seems so much better. It seems like he's better able to manage his stuff on the mound. And Joe Girardi has admitted when we can give him an extra day, we are going to try to give him an extra day. The problem is right now they're in a stretch of 20 in a row starting Tuesday with that Blue Jays game. So at some point in time, they are most likely going to add a guy into that rotation. Now, Kenny, will it be Luis Severino? That remains to be seen. He is still on track to start on Sunday. That's a 5 o'clock game here with the Tampa Yankees. They're not exactly sure how many minor league starts they're going to need for Severino, and it probably depends how he feels, how he looks as well, because he had struggled a little bit before going on the DL. So he could be the guy, or it may be somebody else that just gets a spot start, but they will insert somebody during this stretch at some point in time.
Well, it's unfortunate it's Severino who was injured, but there had been talk of sending him to the minor leagues anyway because he hadn't been performing that well.
I asked Joe Girardi today, is there any way you see Severino not coming back up here and being inserted into that starting rotation? And he said, let's take it one step at a time. We have to see what he does and how he feels in that first rehab start. So not committing to anything, but I think that is the plan, to bring him back up.
Well, Meredith is going to come back in the 4th inning and tell us about the helmets and the new look for the Yankees. Tanaka looking very sharp through 3. For the top of the fourth inning, John Flaherty with Kenny Singleton and Meredith Marakovitz joining us here in the booth. And Meredith, we have to talk about the new look helmets. Tony Pena sporting his down the first base line.
Well, Flash, Kenny was on it right away. He noticed them right away, and I did a little bit of research. A bunch of teams are already wearing these helmets, the matte finish helmets, so far this season. The Pirates have been seen using them, the Orioles, the Dodgers, and the Diamondbacks, just to name a few. But they were just an option given to teams this year, and Rob Kakuza, who's the longtime equipment manager of the Yankees, went to some of the veterans in the clubhouse and said, "Do you guys like these? Do you want to use these?" And I guess enough of them had said yes, so that's the reason you're seeing them this evening. They will wear these on the road for the rest of the season.
Wow. Just on the road and the shiny ones at home.
Just on the road. So far, no change at home. But, guys, I also found out that there's a little bit of a change for the home uniforms that you probably didn't notice. Their button spacing. They changed the button spacing. It's amazing you didn't pick up on that, and I know you're on pins and needles to take a look at it when you get home. But on the road uniforms with the New York across the chest, obviously they can't put the button right in the middle there. You see it right there. And the home uniforms, they made it so they're even all the way down the jersey.
How did you notice something like that?
I can't reveal my source, Kenny. I cannot reveal my source.
Eagle eye.
Well, with one down, it'll bring up Brian McCann. And Kenny and I were talking, Meredith, about Mark Teixeira and the cortisone shots as McCann first pitch swinging. Be 2 quick outs here in the fourth. What's Teixeira up to?
Well, today he did not do anything. Joe Girardi said he didn't even pick up a bat, but the goal is that they have him back in this lineup on Sunday. That might be a little bit of an ambitious goal, just knowing how much that was bothering him. Technically, it takes a couple of days for that cortisone shot to work, if it is in fact going to work. But right now, the Yankees optimistic that that'll do the trick and he won't be DL bound.
Well, hopefully he gets well soon and back in the lineup and gets his bat going.
Well, with 2 down, I'll bring up Alex Rodriguez. We thank Meredith Marakovitz for all of her information about the helmets, the uniforms, Mark Teixeira. And Alex Rodriguez, a fly ball to right field. Geyer will make the play. And Chris Archer, who struggled a little bit in the first inning, was able to work his way out of trouble, locking it in the last couple of innings. Weekday, join Suki, Scott, and the Pix 11 news team. Linda Church has the weather, and Caitlin Monte's traffic reports keeps you in the know mornings from 6 to 9 on the Pix 11 Morning News, where every story hits home. Bottom of the fourth, we're scoreless here at Tropicana Field. Masahiro Tanaka, perfect first time through the lineup. 9 up, 9 down. It'll be Brandon Geyer.
Flash, remember last weekend we were in Oakland and we were talking about Coco Crisp. Hadn't been hit by a pitch since 2011. The longest active streak in the major leagues. Brandon Geyer has been hit 13 times this year. And he's only 3 away from the all-time Rays record.
Already.
Yeah. Carlos Pena was hit 51 times in his career with the Rays. Geyer hasn't been here that long. He's been hit 48 times.
You know, when you just mentioned that, I looked to where he was setting up in the batter's box, and he's not all over the plate.
No.
But if you watch that first move, he's diving into the plate big time.
In other words, he could have problems getting out of the way.
Yes.
13 times.
Wow. Rifles this one down the left field line, but foul.
This is the anti-Coco Crisp at the plate. Here's a look at the swing, and there you see it flash, saying that foot almost touched home plate when he was swinging at the pitch. And I tell you what, if you step on home plate and hit the ball, you are out.
And Tanaka heading the count 1-2. You know, Kenny, I was thinking back to the scouting report that I did on Tanaka, and I mentioned he's unbeaten in his first 9 starts this year. And you have to go back to 2005. Aaron Small went 8-0 in his first 9 starts when he got called up. And I was playing then, and it reminded me of when the Yankees called him up. Fastball gets in on the hands of Geyer, being easy play for Ackley. Joe Girardi was our bench coach. And we needed a starting pitcher, and I remember Mike Borzello and myself, the bullpen catcher, talking to Joe about who was getting it done in AAA. And he said, you know what, Aaron Small is doing a good job, but we don't really want to bring him up. He doesn't throw hard enough. He only throws like 88 miles an hour. And both Mike Borzello and myself said, yeah, but in spring training, you knew exactly what you were getting from him. Like, he's somebody that a big league staff could use.
Keep you in a game.
Keep you in a game. And then he got on just an unbelievable run, starting off 8-0 in his first 9 starts that year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Big piece of our rotation. And brought back some good memories when I went through that little nugget. So Tanaka, who has had a quality start and a win his last time out against Oakland, 7 innings, only 1 earned run, off to a good start here in Tampa. Ground ball to Headley. 2 quick outs.
You got an example how quick the ball is off that turf. Headley was playing about even with the turf, and that ball got to him on 2 quick hops. You can see him just on the left side of your screen there. This ball's hit pretty well. Couple hops, stays with it, and then the accurate throw, and there are 2 down.
2 down would be Evan Longoria. He popped out in the first inning. Longoria with 85 RBIs against the Yankees since 2008. That is the most runs batted in against the Yankees by any opposing hitter. Only 44 pitches for Tanaka with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. He has done some damage against the New York Yankees. 133 games, 29 home runs, 85 RBIs. When I think of those numbers, Kenny, I think of the home runs that he hits the other way, right center field. Obviously very favorable in Yankee Stadium for a hitter who has power going the other way. Going to be an easy fly ball to center field for Jacoby Ellsbury. So Tanaka continuing his impressive evening. 3 up, 3 down here in the 4th.
Infinity. Visit your local Infinity retailer for a test drive today. Jose Bautista taking his 1-game suspension, and he's going to be out tonight. Jurickson Profar, the young infielder with the Texas Rangers, recalled from AAA, batting leadoff tonight. The young man's had plenty of injury problems, surgeries, and he was one of the top prospects in baseball, so he's back in the big leagues. And Shelby Miller placed on the 15-day DL for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Yankees beat him in Arizona. As the first pitch to Castro is hit on the ground to moderate second, and 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 5th inning. So Archer matching Tanaka 0 for 0 so far, although the Yankees do have 2 hits and a walk. So they've had 3 base runners. Here's Didi Gregorius, who grounded out to moderate second back in the 2nd inning. Ten for his last 20. Gregorius on a hot streak. Look out, up and in, ball 1.
That'll get your attention if you're Didi Gregorius, and we always talk about how Didi's moving towards home plate. Not falling away from it, able to get out of the way.
Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Had a chance to talk to Alan Cockrell, the Yankee hitting coach, about Didi and the way that he's been swinging the bat lately. He's given a hot streak. Says he's shortened his stroke, particularly with 2 strikes, willing to go the other way. That's high. 3 balls and no strikes. There's Allen, his assistant, Marcus Thames. So Gregorius maybe starting to figure it out after a couple of years in the big leagues. You don't have to try and pull everything. Should be taking this pitch. 3-0 pitch. And that is in there for a call strike, 3-1.
I always think about hitting instructors and how tough of a job it is, because you never have 9 guys rolling at the same time, right? I mean, you can always. Yeah. Okay, so Didi's going well now. Ellsbury's swinging the bat. Teixeira's been struggling. Alex is back.
Here's ball 4. So Gregorius is on with a 1-out walk here in the 5th inning. Walk number 2, charged to Chris Archer. You're exactly right. But if you have enough guys hitting pretty well, like 5 can carry 4, or certainly 6 can carry 3. And Gardner right now, what is he, 0 for 1 tonight? He's 0 for his last 8 and 9 for his last 38. So he's standing right between the 2 hitting coaches. Here's Chase Headley. Flew out to left field, and Dickerson in the 2nd inning. 1 on, 1 out, and he'll take one right down the middle in there for a call strike. I was going to say Broadway, but that's New York. I think you would say Central Avenue here in the St. Petersburg. Yep. Right down Central Avenue. Here's a ball, 1-1. Yankees trying to get something going. They did threaten in the 1st inning, but they left 2 on after putting the first 2 hitters on with nobody out. Ball is hit in the air to center field. Desmond Jennings has it for out number 2. When you look at Jennings in center field, Flash, over the years you had a feeling that the Rays expected a lot more, but he's had injuries, had knee problems last year. He hasn't really hit the way they thought he would hit. When B.J. Upton was here, he played left field. Then when Upton left, they thought he'd become the center fielder. That didn't really work out. Kiermaier's come along and claimed center field, but now Kiermaier's out. He'll be out for a while, about 10 weeks with a broken hand. Jennings moves back to center.
Well, you remember when Jennings made it to the big leagues, they were comparing him to a young Carl Crawford.
There goes Gregorius. Here's the throw to second, and it is not in time. Gregorius with his 2nd steal of the year.
Yeah, we thought the running game might be a big part of the Yankees' offensive attack. And you see Conger, he has it all lined up. If you throw the ball on the bag, you will get the call. Look from overhead, Didi with that head-first slide. The throw was short. Miller able to come up with it, but applies the tag just a little too late.
Did you see Archer point at Conger and say, good try or good throw?
pointed at him and said something. I'm not sure maybe if he thought Headley was across the plate, maybe an interference. Not quite sure.
Well, the Yankees have a runner in scoring position. 1 ball and no strikes to count on Ackley, who lined out to left field his first time up. That's in there for a strike.
You see Didi take off. Well, clearly no interference, and you see Archer look in. He wanted to know if it was a strike.
Oh, okay. I thought he was saying good try. Trying to pump up his catcher. 1-1 on Ackley. Good swing and fouled it back. 1-2.
I mentioned Ackley's been struggling a little bit lately. 3 for his last 21. And you get a pitch right there, Kenny, that you take that good swing at, and you foul it off. You kind of put your head down saying, you know what, that's why I'm struggling, because I'm letting those pitches get away.
Bouncing ball to the right side. High hop for Morrison. Archer covering first. Steps on the bag, and that's it. Yankees leave a runner in scoring position. 4.5 been played. Still no score.
Through 4 innings, we're going to take a look at some of the pitches and the grips. The split finger, always a big pitch for Tanaka. Gets a strikeout of Geyer in the first. The two-seamer, and watch the movement, how it comes right back to the outside corner. Locks up Steve Pearce. And then the slider I mentioned earlier, just an important different look pitch for Tanaka. Gets Mater out on his front foot.
3 strikeouts thus far for Tanaka. Here's Pearce, who was caught looking in the second inning. And the first pitch is low and away for ball 1. Tanaka with the 3 strikeouts tonight. Now 333 strikeouts in his career, just 60 walks. Tremendous strikeout to walk ratio. Little chopper foul, and it's a ball and a strike. Tanaka, 2 or fewer runs in 7 of his 9 starts this year. And he's been the king of no decisions. He's got 7. That leads the major leagues.
You know, Kenny, you remember back in spring training, though, Joe Girardi kind of calling him out that final spring training start, saying, you know, we need to see a little bit more. And I don't know if it was a wake-up call or he's just waiting till the season got going, but he's looked great this year.
Line drive towards center field. That's going to be the first Rays hit of the night. A leadoff single for Steve Pearce here in the 5th inning. In fact, he's the first man to reach base against Tanaka. I remember that start was against the Phillies. That was his last start in spring training. That pitch is right down the middle.
Well, we got to look at the two-seamer earlier that he locked Pearce up on the outside corner. This one just kind of drifts back to the plate a little bit. Pearce was ready.
So 1 on, nobody out for the Rays here in the 5th inning. We'll bring up Logan Morrison, the first baseman. He hit a solid line drive, but it was flagged down by Dustin Ackley at first base. That was in the 2nd. Ball gets away from McCann and will go back to the screen. And Pierce will move down to 2nd on a wild pitch. This is Tanaka's first time pitching from the stretch in this ballgame.
Well, you see Brian McCann setting up away, and it ends up down and in. Didn't have enough time to try to block it traditionally with his chest protector. It's going to be a wild pitch.
You can see where Tanaka can have some wild pitches with that splitter in the dirt. So the Rays put their first runner in the scoring position. Bouncing ball, foul. First base coach Rocco Baldelli turns it into a souvenir.
Well, you're locked up in a pitcher's duel here tonight. Archer, after that shaky first inning, has looked excellent. Every run is going to be at a premium tonight. We'll see if Logan Morrison can do a little situational hitting, trying to advance Pierce to 3rd.
Ball and 2 strikes. Tanaka paints the outside corner. You know, one thing watching Tanaka tonight, he's moving the ball around, working both corners very well. Looks like everything's working pretty well for him. And, you know, that pitch to Pierce was probably the worst pitch he threw all night. McCann keeps that one in front of him. Pierce cannot advance. That's the danger of the splitter.
Well, if you're Brian McCann and once you put down that sign for the splitter, you have to be expecting it in the dirt. I'm a little surprised he's setting up away for the split. Usually you set up middle of the plate and try to react each way.
Right back to Tanaka. He's got Pierce in a rundown. Pierce trying to turn and burn, but he's tagged out. Tanaka with a 1 unassisted. You don't see that very often.
Well, this is textbook, though, if you're Tanaka. Obviously, the first part, fielding your position, and then you just attack Steve Pierce and run him back as hard as you can. And because of that, Kenny's able to apply the tag and keep everybody else out of the play. A lot of times you see pitchers kind of jogging towards the runner. Tanaka attacks. Nice play.
Looked like a safety making an open field tackle, didn't he? So Pierce is erased from scoring position. Morrison takes over at first base, and he's there with 1 out, and Jennings at the plate. Jennings popped out to Headley in the 2nd. I think that's one thing that's underrated about Tanaka. He's an excellent fielder. Very quick on bunts, covering first base, and as we saw now, tracking down base runners. Check on Jennings at, I should say, Morrison at first base. You know, we've seen the splitter tonight from Tanaka, and of course it's a pretty good one of the best in the league. But Flash, who's the best splitter that you caught?
That's a good question. Tanyan Sturtz had a pretty good split.
Ground ball towards 3rd. This could be 2. Good stop. No relay to 1st as Morrison is forced at 2nd. So Jennings is over at 1st with 2 outs now. Tanyan Sturtz.
Good sinker split combination.
Uh-huh.
You know who didn't have a split in his arsenal was Mike Mussina.
Yeah.
was struggling in a start at Fenway Park in the third inning, called me out to the mound and said, I'm throwing a split from here on out. And just came up with it on the fly and ended up throwing 7 innings.
In a game.
In a game, Fenway Park, and got a no decision. But that's, when you mentioned split, that's the first thing I thought of. He kind of invented it during that game.
Are you thinking he'd been kind of fooling around with it on the side?
Well, I'm sure he probably had, but he did not inform any of the catchers about that. Ended up being a good pitch, and then he didn't throw it the rest of the year.
Mike Mussina, 270 career wins. A lot of people feel he's going to make it to the Hall of Fame. I kind of feel that way. Here's Corey Dickerson, the left fielder. Hit a solid line drive that was flagged down by Headley at third base. He's up with 2 outs and a stolen base threat in Jennings at first base. Jennings has 2 this year. He hadn't been caught. Timeout is called. Tanaka delivers anyway, as he should. He was in mid-delivery. Jennings at first with 2 down. There's no score here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Good one going in the opening game of this 3-game series. Ball is hit in the air to left field. Hit pretty well. Going back to the warning track near the wall is Gardner. He leaps and he makes the catch, robbing Dickerson of an extra base hit and the Rays of a probable run. A great play by Brett Gardner in left field. Up against the wall and then straight up for the catch. Still no score here at Tropicana Field. Tanaka just loving it. Is brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better with Time Warner Cable. Call 1-855-1-TWC today. Well, Brett Gardner with a heck of a play to rob Dickerson of an extra base hit. Gardner's in the on-deck circle as Jacoby Ellsbury will lead it off here in the 6th. Ellsbury 2 for 2. Hits a ground ball to the right side from Motter. 1 pitch and 1 out.
Well, Corey Dickerson drives this one to left center field, and there a great view on how much room Brett Gardner had. Full extension up against the wall. Jacoby Ellsbury loves it. Tanaka loved it. And like you said, Kenny, definitely saved a run.
And here is Brett Gardner. So far tonight, he has walked. And he's also struck out. He's 0 for 1. Archer deals, and that's way upstairs for ball one. Now, Flash, years ago, I played winter ball in Puerto Rico, and my manager was Roberto Clemente, the great Roberto Clemente. And I remember him telling me, even when you're not hitting, there are other ways to help your team, and one of them is playing defense. And we mentioned Gardner is now 0 for his last 8 and 9 for his last 38, but definitely helped the Yankees out in that situation on defense.
Roberto Clemente.
Great. He would have been managed. He would have got a shot to manage in the big leagues. But unfortunately, as we all know, he was killed on that mercy mission in a plane crash. 2-0 pitch to Gardner, and that's high for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. That was one of the I was the only winter that I played winter ball, but it was quite an experience. He was I've never seen anybody revered as much as he was in his home state, so to say, in Puerto Rico, as he was. Fans just loved him. And why not? Hall of Famer, 3,000 hits. Gardner draws his second walk of the night. Third walk handed out by Archer. Let's see if Gardner takes off for second. This might be one of those games where one run is the difference.
Yeah, I think this is the inning you have to start forcing the action a little bit. We know Brett has some trouble getting jumps early in counts.
And Joe Girardi has to remind him every once in a while, we're not stealing on the pitcher. In this case, we're stealing on the catcher. Beltran's at the plate 0 for 2. He's popped out to shortstop twice. Check on Gardner. At first, the ball gets away. Brett Gardner with great speed. He's the second. He's on his way to third. And he'll be in there standing up as the throw comes home. So Chris Archer with a wide throw that Morrison couldn't handle. And Gardner is chased all the way to third base.
What a gift right here. Archer yanks it a little bit. I didn't think it was that bad of a throw. Logan Morrison not able to come up with it. With all that foul territory, Brett Gardner easily going to get into third base. And that is a gift right there that the Yankees have to take advantage of.
Yeah, plus you mentioned the foul territory. Plus this is artificial surface, so that ball just kept rolling. So the Rays are going to bring the infield in with Beltran at the plate. Best opportunity of the night for either team to score. Beltran hits it hard, but look out, Tony Pena. It's a foul ball. Beltran looking for his 30th run batted in on the season. He leads the Yankees with 29. Pitch is hit on the ground to the right of Motter. He comes up with it, bobbles it, and there'll be no play. It looked as though he looked up to see where Gardner was. And Motter's going to be charged with an error that allows Beltran to reach first.
And I think Brett Gardner would have scored on this. You see Motter going to his right. He would not have had enough on the throw to get Brett Gardner. Yankees will take the error again, but I think Brett was probably waiting to see if it was right at him. It was a little bit to his right. He would have gotten a good jump. He would have scored easily. So he's coming down the line looking to get a jump, and he freezes, he hesitates, and not able to go.
I believe you're absolutely right. If he had gone on contact knowing where the infielder was, Motter would have, he's moving away from home plate to catch the ball. But still, the Yankees have first and third now with one out as Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, went out to talk to Chris Archer. So back-to-back errors have kind of opened the door for the Yankees here in the sixth. Let's see if they can step through. McCann is popped out and grounded out. He is 0 for 2. Call, strike one over the outside corner.
Well, if you're Brian McCann here, you have to be so disciplined just looking for a ball up in the zone that you can get in the air. Got to stay away from that ground ball and the possibility of an inning-ending double play.
Ball's hit hard off the glove of Morrison. Force at second, no play at first. The Yankees take the lead 1-0 as Gardner scores. If Morrison flags that one down, it's an inning-ending double play, but it was hit so hard he couldn't come up with it cleanly.
Yeah, Morrison frustrated with himself. We'll get a look from behind here. McCann hits it right on the nose off the glove of Morrison. They're able to get the out at second base, and most importantly for the Yankees, Brett Gardner scores, and they get a lead. You're right, Kenny. He comes up with this. This is going to be an inning-ending double play. The Rays failing to execute defensively here in the 6th inning.
So give McCann a run batted in, his 19th of the year, and it brings up Alex Rodriguez as Gardner scores the first run of the ball game. A-Rod 0 for 2. That's in there for a call strike. Alex tonight is struck out swinging and flying out to right field. The Yankees have broken through. They lead 1-0 here in the 6th. Ball is hit high and very deep to left center field. Jennings going back. This one is gone. A home run for Alex Rodriguez, and it's 3-0 Yankees. Home run number 6 on the season for Alex Rodriguez, and the 693rd of his career.
Well, you can see how excited Alex Rodriguez is. We mentioned he was swinging a hot bat before he went on the DL. He went on a rehab, hit a home run down there. But how long would it take him to get his timing here at the big league level? Didn't have a great day yesterday, but things getting a whole lot better with that fastball down the middle, the little bat flip.
We told you he hit 8 home runs against the Rays last year. That's his first one this year against Tampa Bay. Pitch to Castro is in there for a call strike. So the Yankees are broken through with 3 here in the 6th. And that's their only hit of the inning, but it was a big one. Ball is fouled off by Castro. It's 0-2. Let's check the swing from the side, Flash.
I think you're going to like this swing from the side, and you check out his backside coming through. Full extension right back towards the pitcher with the barrel of the bat. And then just a beautiful finish right there.
Ooh, right off of Wheaties box.
That is called your A swing if you're Alex Rodriguez.
Castro loops one in the air to right field. Coming on is Geyer, and he makes the catch for the out. The Yankees had scored 1 run, but they were going to add 2 more. As Alex Rodriguez crushes one to left center field at the end of 5.5. It is 3-0 Yankees. Scores are brought to you by the new JetBlue card. As we look around some of the games in the major leagues, the Cubs won again, 6-2 over the Phillies. The Red Sox are down in the top of the fifth up in Toronto. Orioles are ahead 3-2 in the top of the fifth. They're playing in Cleveland. Mets and the Dodgers. The Mets with the lead, and St. Louis leading the Washington Nationals. So Tanaka now with a 3-run lead as we go to the bottom of the sixth, and here's Taylor Motter, the second baseman. By the way, all 3 runs the Yankees scored were unearned against Chris Archer last inning. Motter was a strikeout victim, struck out swinging, and he foul tips one here, and the count goes to 0-2. Motter called up from the minor leagues. Logan Forsythe, who was having a good year and was last year's Rays MVP, is on the disabled list. He was hit by a pitch and actually broke his shoulder blade. And I understand he's starting to get back into baseball activities, so it's still going to be a while before Forsythe is back. And at the time, he was the Rays' best player when he was injured.
2 huge losses, Forsythe and Kiermaier.
Yep. Motter, a shortstop in the minor leagues. This one is going to roll foul down the first base side. Here's the injury report on the Rays. Currently on the DL. We mentioned Forsythe, fractured shoulder. Kiermaier, fractured hand. Abdominal surgery for Boxberger. He's kind of working his way back. And Alex Cobb, they expect him back in July. So some big pieces to the puzzle for Kevin Cash, not available at this time of the season. The 1-2 pitch to Motter, and he chops it foul at home plate.
You know, we were just out in Oakland and 12 or 13 guys on the disabled list, and somebody mentioned to me we're not a team that we have that type of depth, and you think the same thing here in Tampa. When you lose those big names for a manager like Kevin Cash, not easy to replace.
Now going with a rookie second baseman. Motter can also play shortstop. That ball is over the bag. Good stop by Castro to throw to first. What a play! Starlin Castro showing off the arm and the glove. The throw out Motter. Those are plays you don't see at AAA.
Well, the shattered bat took a little bit off of Motter's line drive right back up the middle, but Castro takes advantage. The backhand and then the ability to get off a strong throw across a diamond gets Motter by plenty. Castro has been swinging a hot bat early on, a brilliant defensive play.
So 1 out. Yankees flashing the power last inning, and here's one more look. Remember, Castro been a shortstop for many years with the Cubs. Pitches hit on the ground to first. Ackling looks like he's going to take it himself. He will, and Conger is out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down for Tanaka, who thus far has allowed just 1 hit, a single to Steve Pearce in the 5th inning.
You look at that pitch count, 64 pitches with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. I mean, Tanaka has been on top of his game.
Well, we saw it in Oakland. 7 innings, 1 run. Here's Geyer, the leadoff hitter. Slider low and away for a ball.
You know, when we were on that trip, there were some starting pitchers. Evaldi threw a great game. Ivan Nova and Joe Girardi went to the bullpen early. With that 2-run home run of Alex Rodriguez, it gives Tanaka a little breathing room, and the pitch count in great shape. Only 1 hit allowed.
I think that was the story of the last road trip, the Yankee pitching, the starters. Ball is hit down the right field line. If this is fair, it's going to be a fair ball. It hits right on the line. Geyer to second. Let's see if he's going to hold on there. They're down by 3 runs. He's not going to take any chances. So he's at second with a 2-out double. And that's just the second hit that Tanaka's allowed in the game.
Well, Geyer was getting a lot more playing time with Jennings struggling a little bit. Now with Kiermaier out, he's going to be in there pretty much every day. And right on the line, down the right field line, bounces into that Rays bullpen. Take another look.
First base umpire Jerry Lane, the crew chief, with the eagle eye, called it. Here's Miller. was grounded out twice. Grounded to second, grounded to third. He's 0 for 2. Yankees up 3-0. We're in the 6th inning. That's in there for a call strike. One thing we saw from Tanaka in Oakland, when he got in trouble, it seemed like he really bore down to get out of it. I think there was one inning where the A's left the bases loaded, and Tanaka really had to work and got 2 outs to get out of the jam.
Well, things slowing down a little bit. Brian McCann has not had to go through multiple signs an awful lot tonight with a runner at second base.
Just a little bit high, and it's a ball and a strike on Brad Miller.
Well, you take a look at the pitch again. It's the first time Tanaka looked in, maybe thinking he wanted that. It was a high slider. Trip Gibson did not give him the call, and I guess it's pretty much a compliment to an umpire when we don't talk about balls and strikes until 2 outs in the 6th inning. He's done a good job.
Lashed foul. Miller going the opposite way. I always thought there was an art to arguing with umpires or just getting your opinion across when you're at the plate. You know, you call a pitch you didn't think was a strike. I used to say it loud enough for him to hear, but I wouldn't turn around. So he got the gist of, you know, the pitcher doesn't need help. You know, that ball was low or whatever.
But you did it in a way where nobody else knew.
Just the catcher.
Yep.
There's the 3 of us. When you turn around, the umpires feel you're starting to show them up. 1-2 the count on Miller. Tanaka trying to get out of it here in the 6th inning. Ball gets away from McCann, and Geyer's going to advance to third. A wild pitch will be charged to Tanaka on the splitter in the dirt.
Well, Kenny, you mentioned earlier about the splits and how tough they are to block, and you're going to have wild pitches. But Brian McCann's getting caught in between. He's not going down the block. He's trying to pick. And I mentioned again, he's setting up on the outside corner for that split, which I'm not quite sure why. Usually you set up middle and react one way or the other, but he's kind of gotten caught in between a few times tonight.
2 balls and 2 strikes now on the hitter. Tanaka, 70 pitches. 3 strikeouts, no walks in the game. We don't put up with that here. Working from the stretch with the runner on third. Little chopper. Might be a tough play. Tanaka has it. Flips to Ackley. Gets Miller with a step and a half. And that's it for the Rays. They leave a runner at third. It's 3-0 Yankees.
Baseball is brought to you by NYU Langone Medical Center, made for New York. And by Toyota. The Toyota Time sales event ends May 31st. Hurry in today. Toyota, let's go places. 3-0 Yankees, top of the 7th inning. It'll be 7-8-9 for the Yankees. Didi Gregorius, Chase Headley, and Dustin Ackley against Chris Archer, who's given up 3 runs, all of them unearned. He drops a changeup in there for strike 1 to Didi. 9-game hitting streak on the line. 0 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base.
You know, Archer didn't help his own cause last inning with a throwing error. And as you described it, you know, Morrison's a left-handed throwing first baseman, so the glove was on the right side. He couldn't get around Gardner at first base, and the ball went into the bullpen.
Check swing. Gabe Morales, the third base umpire, said he didn't go.
Oh, we always get another look. Nah, he didn't swing. No, Archer has walked 3 tonight, and you said what he's averaging, 4 a game?
Almost 4.5 a game.
Yeah, that's an issue because it raises the pitch count.
Good pitches to hit right there. A 3-1 fastball to Didi, fouls straight back.
And that usually means hitters get better pitches to hit, and that might translate into the 10 home runs he's given up this year. Make it 11 now with Alex's home run tonight.
Kenny, you mentioned he's got to get back on track. There has been, we've seen enough tonight to tell you and tell the Rays that he does have a run in him at some point if he figures it out. Didi fouls this one off. It's going to find the seats.
Yeah, I think any team in the big leagues would take Chris Archer on their staff, even a struggling Chris Archer.
I think this is one of those games he's going to walk away from and say, you know what, I was on top of my game against the New York Yankees. And I mentioned the slider is such an important pitch to him. He's hardly thrown it tonight. I mean, it's been more fastball, changeup, occasional slider. Be looped into center field. Jennings coming on, but it's going to be the left fielder Dickerson who makes the play. I've seen a lot of those weak fly balls, Kenny, you know, where he just beats the hitter, and you see the pitches 85, 36 balls, 49 strikes. So velocity clearly not the issue for Chris Archer. Has plenty on his fastball tonight. 1 down. Chase Headley, a couple of fly balls, 0 for 2. And Tampa going with the shift on Headley. It's Taylor Motter in short right field.
Chase is going to get a new bat here. That might have had a hairline fraction. We've seen Headley hit the ball in the opposite field quite a bit lately. Particularly left-handed, he's hit the ball to the opposite field for some hits.
Another good fastball from Archer.
96 miles an hour. Originally a 5th-round draft pick of the Cleveland Indians back in 2006. Went to the Cubs, then was traded to the Rays.
1-2 and a big swing and a miss. Something off speed. Our next Picks telecast will be tomorrow when the Yankees continue this series with the Rays. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. right here on New York's home for baseball, Picks 11.
Yeah, kind of an early start tomorrow night. Well, can we say it? It's a day game, isn't it? 4:10. Late afternoon.
2 down, Dustin Ackley. I'd say that's a day game, Kenny.
You know, I think there's a a rule in baseball, anything that starts before 6 o'clock is an afternoon game.
Popped up. And that's going to find the seats. Well, let's put it this way, Kenny. If I'm thinking about breakfast in the morning and then heading to the yard, as opposed to lunch and heading to the yard, that's a day game.
Yeah, I got you. I'll be in that same boat.
Might go a little brunch instead of breakfast. You know, that'll be a nice way to go for a 4 o'clock start. We'll see how it all plays out tomorrow.
I'm sure you can find somewhere on the beach to have a nice meal.
So Archer, who struggled a little bit in the 6th inning, did not get helped by his defense, but he's right back at it here in the 7th. A couple of quick outs. And heading the count 1-2 to Dustin Ackley. And again, Ackley, another good swing and fouls it straight back. That's a sign of a hitter who's just not getting it done lately.
Yeah, but it's also a sign of a hitter who's kind of close. Yeah. This is what Flash is talking about. This pitch is almost right there. Ackley takes a good pass at it, but not quite quick enough.
Keep waiting for Archer to go to that good slider. Been a big pitch for him early in his career, but he's really raring back with number 1. Proud of his fastball tonight and attacking Ackley here in this at-bat. See what he does 2-2. There's a slider. Pitch count at 95. Archer, a guy who's thrown 107 pitches in a game this year. We'll do it again. It'll be another 2-2 to Dustin Ackley. Changeup misses down.
Good at bat by Ackley.
There's Jacoby Ellsbury waiting for another chance. Great numbers against Archer. It'll be a 3-2. We'll see if he comes right at Dustin Ackley. He doesn't. He throws a slider for strike 3, and Archer fired up as he comes off the mound. A strong 1-2-3 inning for Chris Archer here in the 7th. The Yankees lead 3-0. Is brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, Glory, Ram. The Yankees lead 3-0. It's been a pitcher's duel. Only 3 hits for the Yankees, 2 for the Rays. Tanaka has been impressive. 6 innings, couple of hits. He struck out 3. Archer has rebounded nicely. And Alex Rodriguez, the 2-run home run, and Brian McCann an RBI ground out. And that all of us tells all of us Yankees lead 3-0 as Tanaka back at it here in the bottom of the 7th. 3, 4, 5 for the Rays. Longoria, Pierce, and Morrison. And the Yankees have a little action in their bullpen. Dellin Betances starting to get his gun hot. Only 72 pitches for Tanaka. And that's the temptation every night for Joe Girardi when you have a lead going into the 7th inning. But only 73 pitches for Tanaka. The 2-run home run by Alex Rodriguez gives Joe Girardi a little breathing room. One mistake is not going to cost you the possibility of a ball game. And Tanaka quickly ahead 0-2 on Longoria.
You know, fans are thinking the starting pitchers, you mentioned the pitch count, 74 now for Tanaka. But we've seen Joe Girardi take pitchers out. Yep. We saw it on the last road trip after 6 innings, and because he has those 3 guys in the bullpen. And the thing about it, if you look at the big picture, he's saving bullets for the starters as the year goes on. You know, they're not throwing 110, 115 pitches a game.
Okay, but I'll throw this at you.
Yeah.
Then you have the big 3 down there who are throwing more innings. That might catch up with them later on.
Well, if it adds up towards the end of the year, if they throw around 80 innings apiece, that's not bad.
That's a good number, right? Let's put it this way. Those are good problems to have. It means you're leading after 6.
Uh-huh. The Yankees don't give up many leads after 6.
Ooh, big swing and a miss. So Tanaka off to a good start here in the 7th.
Looked like a slider. Well, let's see the grip here. Is it the split? Yeah, that's slider spin, and Longoria can't catch up with it. 4 strikeouts now for Tanaka. He has not walked a batter tonight. Luis Cessa sitting next to Aroldis Chapman, who we might see later on in the game, depending on how the Yankees do on offense.
One down, it'll be Steve Pearce. He had one of the 2 hits against Tanaka. There's that slider again. It's been a nice weapon for Tanaka tonight.
Just about right to the glove. Pearce with no chance.
Well, Tanaka has tried to backdoor his sinker to Pearce a couple of times. Last time he had a base hit on it. The hard ground ball to third. Headley up with it. 2 quick outs here in the 7th. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Sunday, June 12th and celebrate Old Timers Day with the Yankees. Come see your favorite Yankee legends put on the pinstripes again and take the field at Yankee Stadium. Relive memories of your favorite former Yankees and make new memories with your family. Get your Old Timers Day tickets today at Yankees.com or by calling Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
I'm sure you'll be there, won't you, Flash?
I will be there again. Trying to do my stretching to make sure I'll be able to squat down behind the plate for a few innings. Won't embarrass myself.
Well, you're in great shape, Flash. Who are you kidding? But, you know, you being referred to as an old-timer, I just don't get that. Doesn't work for me.
Here's the deal. They need somebody to squat behind the plate for a few innings, Kenny. So always a fun time to get together with everybody. Logan Morrison, big swing and a foul ball.
Let's put it this way. That's 2 days after my birthday. And anybody who refers to me as an old-timer, I'm not going to be happy.
Sturdivant getting loose in the Rays pen, and Andrew Miller getting his gun hot in the Yankee bullpen.
So we've passed Betances' inning by, right?
Yep. 2 quick outs. You know, Kenny, walking in that clubhouse with all the old-timers, that is an intimidating walk. First time that I had to do it. Ground ball. Ackley up with it. A nice play. So again, Tanaka, an easy 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th. Rays only have 2 hits. Tanaka has a shutout. We'll see what Joe Girardi's thinking the rest of the game.
brought to you by ChevyOffers.com. Jacoby Ellsbury sits at the top, and he's 2 for 3 with a couple of hits. The biggest hit, though, was a 2-run home run by Alex Rodriguez, his 6th home run of the year, the 693rd of his career as he closes in on 700 homers. Speaking of Ellsbury, he's going to lead it off for the Yankees here in the 8th inning with that 2 for 3 night going. He singled into first, singled into third, but was caught stealing. And he'll get a chance at the top of the order here in the 8th inning against Chris Archer. Taking all the way, that's in there for a call strike. Archer will face Ellsbury, Gardner, and Beltran for the Yankees here in the 8th. Yankees scored all 3 of their runs in the 6th inning. That's a little low, and it's a ball and a strike on Ellsbury. Ellsbury for about the last month has been over a 300 hitter for the Yankees. Slider, did he go? Yeah, he did. 1 and 2. Call, strike 3. Archer hits the inside corner. Ellsbury now 2 for 4 tonight. 6 strikeouts for Chris Archer.
Well, it's been a common theme. He's introduced the changeup more, and then he's really pounding his fastball with 2 strikes. Ellsbury doesn't like the call. Looked like a pretty good pitch to me.
So Ellsbury is gone, and here's Gardner, who has a no-contact night going, but the second time he walked was in the 6th inning, and he eventually came around to score the Yankees' first run. So he's 0 for 1, a strikeout, and 2 base on balls. Inside for ball 1 from Archer. Little cutter or slider in there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Kenny, I'm glad you said that, a little cutter or a slider, because you remember Archer's slider was bigger, and it was a big swing and miss pitch. And tonight and probably all this year, it just kind of doesn't have that good break on it. It's more of a get-me-over pitch than a strikeout pitch.
Ball and 2 strikes as Gardner fouls one off. We were talking about the helmets tonight, a new look for the Yankees in their headgear. And when helmets first became popular with players back in the 50s, none of them had any shine to them. They had sort of like a felt covering to them. I don't know how hitters hit without a helmet years ago. Right back to Archer. Throws a Morrison for the out, and there's 2 up and 2 down for the Yankees. Fans, a reminder, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So 2 down, and here is Carlos Beltran, who reached on an error and has popped out twice. He's 0 for 3 on the evening. Archer has now thrown 105 pitches. Their Rays bullpen is still busy. That is in there for a call strike at 94 miles an hour. He's still bringing it. Ball is hit well to right field. Going back is Geyer near the wall, and this one is gone. A home run for Carlos Beltran. And it's now 4-0 Yankees. That just got into the seats. For Beltran, his 11th home run of the year. And now even more of a cushion for Masahiro Tanaka.
Well, you think back to when Meredith Marakovitz was here talking to us, and Joe Girardi getting a little annoyed at the questions about Carlos Beltran and Alex Rodriguez. Well, he's not going to have to answer any of those questions anymore. Home run number 11, Beltran playing right field. Alex Rodriguez DHing. He went deep tonight.
So for Beltran, as McCann takes a pitch for a strike, for Beltran, the 2,499th hit of his career. Pitch is low for a ball.
Another look. Talked about his fastball all night. He's been attacking the Yankee hitters, and Carlos Beltran just gets the bat head out. It's a line drive out of here for home run number 11.
Two balls and a strike to count on McCann. Some kind of ball player, Carlos Beltran. Yankees 4 runs on 4 hits tonight. 3 balls and a strike. Kind of get the feeling that this might be Archer's last batter if he doesn't get him out. One way or the other. That's in there for a strike, and it's 3-2. And that's with Alex Rodriguez in the on-deck circle. Three-two pitch, and it's swung on and missed strike 3. But the Yankees add a run here in the 8th. Carlos Beltran, home run number 11 on the year. It's 4-0 Yankees. Eighth inning, time for the Rays in-game box score, which is brought to you by ChevyOffers.com. Well, not much against Masahiro Tanaka. Only 2 base runners, 2 hits, a double by Geyer, and a single by Pierce. Tanaka was outstanding in the game tonight. Well, fans, this call of the bullpen is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin', and Joe Girardi calls on the tall left-hander. Andrew Miller will come on, and his first pitch is outside to Desmond Jennings for ball 1. There are the numbers on Miller, and they are outstanding. This is his 20th appearance of the year. ERA under 1, 33 strikeouts in 18 2/3 innings. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, Andrews had a few days off as Aaron Hicks takes over in right field.
Beltran now out of the ball game. Jennings, Dickerson, and Motter for the Rays here in the 8th. That pitch is outside for a ball. Jennings ahead on the count, 3-0. He popped up and reached on a fielder's choice against Tanaka. There's a pitch for a strike. Miller doesn't walk many. He's only walked 1 batter this season. Pitch is fouled back and out of play. Miller with a 3-2 pitch coming up to Desmond Jennings, leading off for the Rays here in the bottom of the 8th. Swung on it, missed, strike 3. He fought his way back. 3-0 to a strikeout.
Well, he has so much confidence in the slider, he'll throw it on a 3-2 count, knowing it's going to be a strike. Jennings clearly expecting fastball, a 3-run lead on a 3-2 count. He doesn't get it, and Miller picks up a strikeout.
So 1 up and 1 down, and we go to Corey Dickerson. One for 26 against left-handed pitching this season with 10 strikeouts for Dickerson. This is one of the tougher left-handers in the league. And pitches up and in for a ball. A weak swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
When you get a fastball up and in, and then Miller follows it up with a slider down and away, you are going to get some of those weak swings. And you mentioned the numbers, 1 for 26 off of lefties.
That pitch is outside for a ball. Now, Kevin Cash had a couple of right-handers on the bench to go to. He had Steven Souza Jr., who didn't start tonight. And Mike Matuk, another right-handed hitting outfielder. Going to let Dickerson hit here against Miller. And he hits a hot smash, but Gregorius flags it down but can't make the throw. So Dickerson will have a base hit. He's now 2 for 27 against lefties. I guess Kevin Cash knew what he was doing.
Yeah, throw all those numbers out. And as well as he hits this ball right back up the middle, right past Andrew Miller, Didi Gregorius, once he came up with it, you thought he was going to have a play. But it looked like he lost the handle as the ball pops out of the glove.
That would have been a heck of a play. So there's 1 out, 1 on. And Taylor Motter, the second baseman, will come up, the rookie second baseman. Foul tipped for a strike.
Well, we haven't seen a whole lot of Taylor Motter, but what we've seen tonight is he goes up there swinging the bat. Not taking pitches, very aggressive.
You see, he's got 2 homers. His first home run was as a pinch hitter up in Toronto. Ball and a strike. Now, he was the Durham MVP last year. They led the International League with 43 doubles and 58 extra base hits. That's pretty good for a middle infielder. And he is hit by a pitch. And that one hurt. Now, they're checking to see if he actually swung at the pitch. But first base umpire Jerry Lane says he did not swing, so Motter's going to go down to first on the HBP.
Well, when pitchers and catchers are in meetings, they always talk about we're going to throw that back foot slider, but you're not actually trying to hit the batter with the back foot. That's not going to feel good right there. And you can see Miller is off a little bit. I mentioned he hasn't pitched in a couple of days. Location isn't great.
We're going to have a pinch hitter for Hank Conger. The left-handed hitter gives way to the right-handed hitting catcher, Kurt Casale. So Casale will come up. Oh, wait, excuse me. That's Conger, because Conger's a switch hitter. You don't see him hit very often from the right-hand side of the plate. In fact, he's only 0 for 2 this year as a right-handed hitter. So Conger's still in there, jumps over to the other side. 2 on, 1 out. And he'll take a pitch for a called strike. And now he's in the hole 0-2. Conger has 9 hits this year. All 9 of them are singles. Didn't bite at the slider. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. swing and a miss, and Conger is gone. Second strikeout for Andrew Miller this inning. And the lineup will turn over for Brandon Guyer.
Andrew looked a lot more like himself this at bat. Slider down and in. Location on the fastball was a little bit better.
Flash, I just looked it up. After Miller hit Motter, that's the second batter he's hit this year. He's hit more batters than he's walked. Guyer tonight has one of the 2 hits, or make that 3 hits for the Rays. Had a double in the 6th. Fouls it off. He's late on a fastball. Strike 1. Two on, 2 out. Yankees up 4-0 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. First game of a 3-game series. We'll be back here tomorrow. Michael Pineda scheduled to start for the Yankees against Matt Moore. Pineda coming off a win in his last start. That was in Oakland. In the air to center field. Ellsbury is there, and that will do it for the Rays in the 8th. They put 2 on, but do not score against Andrew Miller. Yankees still hold a 4-0 lead. Brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. There it is. Yankees 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors. And for the Tampa Bay Rays, no runs, 3 hits, and 2 errors. And fans, this call to the bullpen is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Tyler Sturdivant comes out of the pen for the Rays in relief of Chris Archer. Sturdivant, 3 games now. Strikeout, no walks in 1 inning. And a 9 ERA, and he will face Alex Rodriguez, who will lead it off for the Yankees here in the 9th inning. Alex with a big 2-run home run in the 6th. At the time, gave the Yankees a 3-0 lead. Sturdivant deals, and that is in there for a call strike. Alex also struck out and flied to right. He's 1 for 3 with a couple of runs batted in. Pitch is fouled off. Now, on this date last year, May 27, 2015, Alex Rodriguez broke Lou Gehrig's all-time American League career RBI record with a 3-run home run in a 4-2 win against the Royals at Yankee Stadium. Must be something about May 27th that he likes. A 2-run home run here tonight. Just off the corner, and it's 1-2. Looking down at the Yankee bullpen, Kirby Yates. This is not a save situation as Yates begins to warm up. Right-hander deals, and Alex swings and misses strike 3. So Sturdivant strikes out Alex Rodriguez. And there's one down for the Yankees here in the 9th inning.
Well, obviously the Yankees have not faced Sturdivant. Don't know a whole lot about him. It throws across his body a little bit as Betances breaks it down with Chapman in the Yankee pen.
Starlin Castro is 0 for 3 tonight. He was robbed of a base hit on a diving catch by Geyer in right field in the 6th inning. Hits this one to the gap in right center. Geyer on the move again, reaches up and robs Castro for a second time. There's that man again, Starlin. 2 outs, nobody on.
Alex Rodriguez didn't look at the slider real good, but it looked like Castro was right on top of it, and Geyer got a good jump over the shoulder catch.
Geyer can play all 3 outfield positions. Got plenty of speed. He's going to use it here.
Castro hits this right on the screws. Like I said, a good jump, nice route, full extension.
2 outs, nobody on for Didi Gregorius, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. And as Flash told you earlier, a 9-game hitting streak on the line. Can he get it to double figures? Speaking of hitting streaks, Jackie Bradley Jr. done. We didn't mention that tonight. 29 games. Stopped yesterday. Ball hit on the ground, and this could be it for the hitting streak as Morrison will take it himself. The Yankees go in order here in the 9th inning. On to the bottom of the 9th. Yankees up 4-0. Honda dealer. Hurry into your local Tri Honda dealer for great deals on the 2016 models. By Bowlmore Lanes. Nobody throws a party like Bowlmore. Plan your next event at Bowlmore Lanes. By M&T Bank. What's important to you is important to us at M&T Bank. Learn more at mtb.com/meet us. By Sleepy. Shop Sleepy's 3-day doorbuster weekend with special Memorial Day deals every day. By Modell's Sporting Goods, your fan gear headquarters. Come on to Bronx Bomber fans, you got to go to Moe's. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Here we go, bottom of the 9th inning. Yankees up by 4, and Kirby Yates will come in to do the pitching for the Yankees, and he will face Brad Miller. And Miller swings at the first pitch and lifts a fly ball, a lazy fly ball to left field for Brett Gardner. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 9th inning. We didn't get a chance to show the numbers on Yates. Here they are. This will be his 19th appearance. And when he came in the game, Flash, I thought it was a very appropriate song that they were playing over the PA here. Cake by the Ocean by DNCE. And, of course, Yates is from Hawaii. So I don't know if he's going to get cake after this, but he knows the ocean. Let's put it that way. Here's Longoria, swings at the first pitch and pulls it foul. In fact, I was talking to Yates in Oakland about him being from Hawaii. I've been to Kauai, where he's from. And he was born in Laihui, and he said the reason why he was born there, it's the only hospital on the island. And he also told me he's a fisherman and a surfer. He says in Hawaii, you do either one of the two. Swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. He said he and his brothers, or particularly his brothers, would take jet skis in a boat over to Niihau, which is a smaller island away from just, I think, a little bit west of Kauai, and they would surf over there because the waves were better. This man knows water. That pitch is high for a ball, and it's 1-2 on Longoria. Aroldis Chapman up just in case this becomes a save situation, but the Rays are down to their last 2 outs as Kirby Yates is trying to nail this one down here in the 9th. Longoria is 0 for 3. And he is now 0 for 4. He's caught looking. Struck out for the second time. Yates picks up a strikeout.
Well, Kirby Yates is becoming a very reliable right arm in that Yankee bullpen. The big three at the back end get a lot of the attention, but you need the guys in the middle innings, maybe off the plate just a little bit, a look from overhead. Clips that front corner, too close to take.
Have you ever been to Kauai?
No.
Beautiful island, just beautiful. We stayed down at Poipu Bay, which is not far from Laihui, where the airport is. Family enjoyed it. Great family trip, one of the best we ever had. Here's Steve Pearce, 1 for 3, and he'll take a pitch a little bit low for a ball. Rays down to their last out. The Yankees trying to shut them out here in the opening game of this series. And Tanaka would get his 3rd win of the year. And his 2nd very strong outing in a row. There's a call strike, and it's 1-1 on Pearce. Now, Tanaka started the night with a road ERA of 1.69. That's going down. Tanaka, Miller, and now Yates for the Yankees. Ball is popped foul and out of play, and it's now a ball and 2 strikes. The Rays are down to their last strike. Joe Girardi hoping to see the Yankees get their record to 23-24, just a notch below 500. It actually reached 500 a couple of days ago. Kevin Cash, well, the Rays might actually fall 4 games below 500 with a loss tonight. The 1-2 pitch fouled back as Pearce hangs tough.
Well, this would be a nice way to start this long road trip for the Yankees. Tanaka did his part. Alex Rodriguez, Carlos Beltran going deep.
4-city trip, including just 1 day in Detroit. Makeup game from first week of the season. I think the Yankees were snowed out that day. It was a really cold day in Detroit. Just miserable weather. The 1-2 pitch, and it's lined foul. Yankees going with pitching and power in tonight's game. And you might throw in some poor Rays defense as well. Two and two.
Wasn't it awesome?
The 2-2 pitch fouled back. Pearce. There's certain guys, and I was one of them, didn't like making the last out. Pierce is hanging tough. He's been a hot hitter lately. Leads the Rays in runs batted in this month. Two balls, two strikes, two outs, nobody on. The Yankees. 2-2 adds up to 4. They're up 4-0. Fouled off again by Pierce. He's not going quietly. Joe Girardi has to be very happy with what he saw in tonight's game. The pitching was outstanding. And as I said, some home run hitting. Full count, 3-2. Yates misses with a slider.
Yeah, we can see how locked in Steve Pierce is, though. He didn't even flinch on that pitch. A good slider down and away.
He has one of the 3 Rays hits. In fact, the first hit of the game for the Rays, Pierce had in the 5th inning. Payoff pitch. Ball's hit high in the air, pretty deep to left center field. Going back is Gardner, going back is Ellsbury near the wall, and this one is gone. The shutout is spoiled by Steve Pierce, and it's now a 4-1 game. Finally threw him a fastball, and Pierce was ready for it. That's his 8th home run of the year, and his 8th since April the 24th.
Well, you mentioned it, Kenny, one of the hottest hitters for the Rays, and a great at-bat against Yates, fouling off tough pitches, and then finally he gets one right down the middle, exactly what Yates should do. You challenge him with a 4-run lead. It's a solo shot, his 8th home run of the year. It's this ball a long way.
So the shutout is gone, but the Yankees still with a 3-run lead. And Chapman throwing a little bit harder in the Yankee bullpen. It is now a save situation. And here comes Joe Girardi with a left-handed hitting Logan Morrison coming up. Looks like Joe Girardi is going to go to Aroldis Chapman. So Chapman's coming in. Yates is done. Yankees with a 3-run lead here in the 9th inning. Breaks a shutout with his 8th home run of the year. It's now a 4-1 game, and Aroldis Chapman now in a save situation, trying to protect the 3-run lead. This will be his 9th game. He is 6 for 6 in save opportunities. This could be one of those one-out saves if he can get Logan Morrison, a left-handed hitter, who will come in. Now, one thing about Andrew Miller and Aroldis Chapman, they strike out a lot of people. They throw very hard, but they also throw a lot of strikes. And it's one reason they are so effective with the stuff that they have. Pitch to Morrison. Takes a pitch outside for ball one. Now, we understand this is not a save situation as Chapman comes in. We'll check the box score tomorrow. There's the pitch. Morrison fouls it back, 1-1. I was saying that Miller and Chapman ranked the highest of all relievers in strikes thrown, the percentage of strikes. 73% of the pitches they throw are strikes.
It's amazing for how hard they throw, especially Chapman. But, we talked about this on that road trip, Kenny. Mechanically, he is so clean and does a great job with his direction, with his glove side, that he consistently can throw the ball where he wants.
Spins Morrison out of there, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
You very rarely see Chapman open up a little bit too quickly with his front side, and his arm drops a little bit.
Now, we understand this is not a save situation because he did not start the inning with a 3-run lead. So he's in charge of getting the final out, but won't be credited with a save. And the tying run is not on deck. That's in there for a strike, and it's 2-2. And I can bet you he's aware of that. Rays are down to their last strike. Foul tip. Nope, it got away from McCann as Morrison swings through it, and he'll reach first base safely. So Morrison has struck out, but he's reached on a pass ball.
I don't know if I have ever seen a fastball for strike 3 that a catcher misses, and that hits the home plate umpire, Trip Gibson, square. Looks like he's going to be all right.
They're coming to check on him, and that's going to be a wild pitch on the strikeout that allows Morrison to reach first base.
How was that a wild pitch?
I thought it was a fastball.
Fastball right down the middle.
Yeah. Looks like Gibson's okay.
This is scary. I mean, especially if you're Brian McCann and you just whiff on a fastball in the upper 90s. Obviously, somebody could really get hurt, and it looks like Trip Gibson's going to be all right.
Wow. Morrison hustles the first. Desmond Jennings will get a chance. He's 0 for 3. And he fouls the first pitch back, strike 1 on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. I still don't see that being a wild pitch.
I'm just thinking the same thing. I mean, it's a fastball right down the middle. Let's put it this way. If I'm catching and I whiff on that, that's a pass ball.
Jennings has a strikeout in 3 trips. 4-1 Yankees, 2 outs in the 9th, a man on. Sliders outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Check swing. Did he go around? Yep, he did. And once again, the Rays are down to their last strike. Alex Rodriguez, a 2-run home run in tonight's game. Runner goes, pitch is in there for call, strike 3, and the ball game is over. The Yankees take the opening game of this 3-game series by a score of 4-1 as the Rays put 1 on the board tonight. Alex Rodriguez with a 2-run home run helped break it open for the Yankees in the 6th inning. Carlos Beltran added a home run of his own in the 8th as the Yankees built a 4-0 lead. So Chapman faces 2 batters, strikes them both out. And the Yankees celebrate in the middle of the diamond here at Tropicana Field. One more look, and nothing fancy about that. Right down the middle, the Jennings, as he takes call strike 3. So Alex Rodriguez, as we mentioned, hit well against the Rays last year. 8 home runs against the Rays last year. And he's got one this year now, as Joe Girardi will celebrate with the rest of his ball club. The Yankees back on the winning track. After losing 2 out of 3 to Toronto, they won the first game here at Tropicana Field by a score of 4-1, and try to make it 2 in a row tomorrow night with Michael Pineda on the mound against these Tampa Bay Rays here at the Trop.